Eleanor, okay. And
They lived in Lake Worth.
yes, he owned a roofing company. He owned several companies, and the big one was the roofing company, Atlas Roofing.
Oh, is that what he had?
Yes.
Ah. And you had your office in Lake Worth?
No, we were always in Palm Beach until we moved out to Congress Avenue 10 years before we retired. We built an office out there, Office Park.
Well, when did you open your office in Palm Beach?
1948, wasn't it, Hal?
Yeah. I was down at the city, the city of West Palm Beach Historical Preservation, and they have a record of it as a significant building, but not on the city register, and they had you as the architect. And I told the lady that I knew you, and she said that if we got information, they were very interested in having your history too, because you're a very significant architect in the area.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Bitch Brickle, something like that, I forgot her name. Oh wait, I don't have my file. I have her card. I'll tell you her name, I'll call you. She's a very nice lady.
We were very much the architects. We took trips to Tarpon Springs to look at the church there. We went down to South Miami. There's a very lovely Greek Orthodox church. I forget the name of it.
St. Sophia.
St. Sophia, we were there.
So you went and looked at those churches?
Those two before we started the design of St. Catherine's.
I was sort of interested also for just kind of history. In 1948, and when the period of the church was built, this community was so different than it is now.
It was completely different.
Can you just tell us a little bit about how it was then, just so we can put this all in a context for...
Well, let's see where to begin. First of all, Flagler Drive did not go through completely. There was no Flagler Drive from Barcelona north to Okeechobee.
Oh.
The property went right down to the lakefront. Then sometime after that, they pushed a road through for those few blocks, and that completed Flagler Drive.
Oh. So that was in the early 50s, maybe?
I think it was maybe the late 50s.
Late 50s.
Or maybe early 60s. Then let me see what else. They four-laned all these roads, of course.
Uh-huh. And that was another time.
Later, yes.
Yeah.
And they found there was traffic.
Uh-huh. And the whole city, the whole area was so less populated. And
much less populated. They built that development down at the southeast end of West Palm Beach. The Ross brothers developed the streets, Flagler Drive going south in Sevilla and Alhambra and all those streets down there. They made a whole new community down there. Very nice. And that, I think, finished the development of the south, what they call south of Southern.
The Ross brothers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They did the houses between Dixie and Olive from just south of Forest Hill on up through Bunker.
Oh.
I'm sure you must have some parishioners living in there, that area.
Yes. I think they call that another, they have a very wide streets in there, don't they?
Yes.
And now the city's going to...
Broadmoor.
Broadmoor.
There were 3 or 4 Broadmoors, Broadmoor 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Was that the Ross Brothers stuff?
Yes, that's all the Ross Brothers stuff.
Oh.
So they did a lot of work. When they started to reactivate the airfield, they did a whole project out there.
Is that where Palm Beach Community College is?
No, it's just north of the airfield. Little affordable houses between Westgate and the airfield. I forget what they call the division.
Oh, you mean out there by the airport?
Yes.
Okay. And the Ross Brothers did that?
Yes.
Oh.
Then another one of your parishioners, should say 7. I think there were 7 brothers, Kuchelakis.
Oh, yes, right.
But Art Kuchelakis was a friend of ours, and he was the one who really got us involved. It
Okay.
came to us.
I see.
And then his brother,
Bill.
Bill, bought an apartment building with an attached living quarters that we owned. That was much later, though. I think he moved to Juneau after that.
Yes, he's deceased. They're both deceased now.
They are both deceased.
Yes. And okay, so then that's how your involvement came in. How did you know Mr. Bournas?
Well, through Art Kuchelakas.
Okay. And what was it like working with the? I guess they had a board that oversaw the.
No, Sam was the board. He was. I think this is very important for both of you to know, as far as the building goes.
Yes.
Sam really set the design of the building, and he said, "We don't have money for a dome." And we said, "Who ever heard of a Greek Orthodox church without a dome?" All our research, we've never seen one without a dome. "Yeah, I don't care, we don't have the money." So the building was almost complete, and I guess he found the money, and he donated the dome. The building was almost complete, and there had to be a lot of re-engineering, and I think Sam was ashamed to call us in and he'd say, "Look, I made a mistake, I want a dome." So he called an engineer in named George Brockway, and George engineered the dome so it would work. And also the reason you have those arches without columns under them was, I think, George's design, George Brockway, because we didn't have anything to do with it. The funny thing is, that could be way at the end of the building, and it sounds as if it's
It
upstairs.
sounds like a very solid building.
Well, we've been through 4 hurricanes since we've lived here. Hasn't
Really?
blown down yet.
The building was built when?
In the mid-'70s, and I wish I had a set of plans. I did have a set in my possession way back then, but never thought we'd be living here. So returned to the homeless. Here we are, and we like a set of plans.
He needs a sharper drill or something.
So this Mr. Brockway.
He was the city engineer, but he had a private practice as well.
City engineer of West Palm Beach?
Yes.
And a private practice.
You work with George Sr., there's a George Jr. too.
And he's still around, George Jr.?
George Jr. is still around, Senior's now.
Tell us a little bit about your office in Palm Beach. I think that'd be interesting.
Well,
too.
we've had several offices. We started on County Road, sharing office space with another architect named Raymond Plockelman. Did you know him?
No.
I think he died before you came to town.
He has a daughter, I think, doesn't he?
Well, Cynthia's his daughter. He has 2
Yes,
daughters,
I know.
Margaret and Cynthia.
Yeah.
And he has a son named Ray. Everybody calls Butch, who's in...
You know, I just got a card. Cynthia is a neighbor of mine. And I see her once in a while. She's a big birder. Written lots of things from the Audubon Society.
She's a birder and historian.
Yeah,
and,
she's a very interesting lady.
She's a librarian by
Yeah.
profession.
She retired from the, but her brother, just got a card, is having a show on Dixie Highway of his paintings.
I didn't know about the painted, which they call him. He was in, what do you call it, rare books, I want to say archaeologist.
Yes, an antiquarian.
Antiquarian. This is very sad. He had an antiquarian shop down in the arbors of Lake Worth. This is nothing for you to write about. And he moved up to Palm Coast, the shopping center.
Yes.
I think he was there 6 days, and the roof fell in. They were re-roofing, and there was a heavy rainstorm. Fell in on all those antique books.
Oh my
They put him
God.
out of business.
Uh-huh.
He said, "I guess I'll be owning a fleet of trucks because the roofer company doesn't carry enough insurance to pay me for these books."
Wow.
So,
So you
So
started
we started-
you shared the office with him.
on County Road.
And he was an architect, huh?
Ray Blockelman was another architect, yes. Then we moved into our own office at 289 Hibiscus. That building is no longer standing because there's an office building It was called the Reynolds Security Building. It has another name now. It's the corner of Royal Palm Way and Hibiscus. And our office was there for 10 years.
Oh, I don't know. I might be 10 years. Like what years? 19.
I think 50 to 60.
I don't know. I don't know the years. But did you know Mr. Volk?
We knew
Was
him.
he around then?
He was around then, but he never came to our AIA meetings.
When did he die?
Maybe 15 years ago or so.
Oh yes, Mrs. Volk is still around.
She's still around.
Yes, she's still fighting. She's very much trying to have his buildings preserved and not torn down.
Yes.
What other buildings did you? I know you told me you did a little building at McKean.
But it isn't so little.
We have to go look at it. We'll go look at it after.
I'll show you a picture so you'll know what you're looking at.
You mentioned your mother's 90 years old. This October, I will be 90 years old.
Oh, God bless you. Good. That's a major achievement.
Yes.
I was looking up yesterday. I was at the church, and I don't have time to look in the computer. But Linda Googled 1917. You were born in 1917, too.
October 18th, 1970.
She was born May 30th, and my 1917 was an incredible year.
Well, we were at war. I don't know if
That's when they declared war. England moved into Baghdad. The Balfour Declaration. It's the whole roots of everything that they're still fighting today.
The Versailles Treaty, that was then. Oh, well, here's one view of Noreen McKean. And there's another view. I'll pass this over.
That's from before they did it now?
No, this is a building we did new. This, here it is. It's there, but it's attached to that much larger housing building.
Oh, yes, I know it. I've seen that.
You see, this is the corner of Fern and Flagler.
Oh. And that was sort of the first McKean building?
They were the Lakeside Hotel, Lakeshore Hotel, which they tore down to build this.
Oh. And it was that always a place for the nuns to be?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
People don't realize it, but the Carmelite sisters, at that time they owned 30 nursing homes across the country. I mean, they were very good business women, and they didn't get recognition, which they should have.
I'm sure you make a note about that. They were good business women.
I did.
Well, I mean, to run 30 nursing homes, they probably have even more now.
And I know that this year at the festival that they have at St. Catherine's, a lady, wait a minute, bear with me 1 second here. Karen Manchan, Manchan.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Lake Worth architect, a German lady.
Mm-hmm.
She came in, and she had never been in the church. She'd been outside. She'd been in the functions at the hall, and she was like overwhelmed, sort of, with the arches that don't have columns, and then she told me. I told her that you were the designer of the architect of the building, and she knows you.
She does?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She came later than you, but she said that you were the first woman architect in the area.
Well, there was one ahead of me,
Yes?
named Agnes Ballard. She was the first.
Ballard, B-A-L-L-A-R-D?
Yes, Aggie they call her. Agnes Ballard was the first. I was the second.
Uh-huh. And in those days, I mean, that was like a major breakthrough in a male chauvinist profession.
The males were very chauvinist, believe me, when I came along.
Well, I have a cousin who's an architect, a very good architect in Cambridge, and she just was honored with, I think they give it a Jefferson Award or something.
Oh, Who's she with, or is she by herself? Or?
She works for the state, I think, and she's noted for. She has a whole history of working with redesigning those great big tenements that they made, and they've all ripped them down now, and they've tried to. There's a whole new philosophy on housing for the indigent or whatever, and she has been a leader in that field, and she's a very bright woman and
What's
a very
her name?
Diana Georgopoulos.
I'll watch for it. You know, nobody ever dreamed that on every landing there'd be a kid with a gun and drugs. They'd shoot up drugs. I mean, they thought they were going to be nice, pleasant places, good places, and the whole philosophy had to change.
Yes, I mean that one in Chicago. That
Pruitt-Igoe, yeah, that's the one they blew up in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So were you active in the architectural? AIA, whatever you said?
I was president of the chapter at one time.
Uh-huh.
And I was on the state board of directors of the state association.
Uh-huh. And Mr. Obst, when we're talking about...
He was active too.
He was an architect also.
Oh, absolutely.
You all did your work together.
Well, we each had our own client. I don't know if we were doing it that way when we did the St. Catherine's, but later on we found that it worked better if Hal ran a project and I ran a project.
Uh-huh. What are some other significant buildings that or projects that you had in the community?
Well,
to enumerate them for.
We did all of the Holy Spirit Episcopal Church.
Uh-huh.
And there is a housing development, talking about big developments for the West Palm Beach Housing Authority. It's called Mangonia Terrace, and it is on Australian Avenue, and we did that, and that seems to be successful. Only problem is they're having a little problem renting it, I understand. You have to, they have very strict qualifications for financial. Here it is, and it looks, this is a rendering, but it looks just like this. Mangonia Residence.
Mm-hmm. And that's on Australian and Mango?
That is a very late project, so late that we wanted to retire, and we sold the drawings back to the Housing Authority, and then they got another architect because we wanted to retire.
And you retired in what year did you retire?
Well, Hal retired in 1986.
1986?
And I retired in 1989. And it seems like yesterday.
Oh yes, I'm sure.
One name I haven't heard is Judge Knott, Jimmy Knott. Wasn't he involved in the Historical Society?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Well, we did his residence.
Oh, you did Mr. Knott's residence
on Flagler. Oh. George, you wouldn't know that house. It has been altered so. Yes. The new owners, they tore out the walls between the living room and the bedroom, and they have these 3 steps going up to the bedroom. Now it's 3 steps going up to another part of the living room.
Oh. And they made it a horrible color.
Isn't that awful?
It's the worst color I've ever seen.
Liza Knott says she just doesn't know what to make of it.
Is Liza still in the area?
They just moved to Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh,
they built. In fact, they're doing some developing up there. She and her husband.
Oh, she's a very interesting woman.
Very.
Yes.
And she's been lovely to us. Hal had to go down to a hospital in Miami and have a stent put in. They wouldn't do it here, and she and Jim twice drove him down there. He's a lovely person.
Oh, yes. I'm glad for her. waited a long time, I guess, to get married, but she
Well,
found
this
her
is her second marriage.
Oh, is it?
There was an unsuccessful one.
Uh-huh. She's a very, very bright woman.
Well, our two families have been friends way back. Liza's the same age as our oldest son.
Oh.
And Doug is a little older than we had two younger children. And they'd always, the young people would get together, and Jim and Evelyn and Hal and I would get together.
What was Mr. Nutt's wife's name? Judge Nutt's wife?
It's Evelyn, Evelyn. We pronounce it Evelyn, but it's a family name. It's pronounced Evelyn.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear about Liza. She and I worked on a project with Hugh McMillan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know him?
Oh yeah, the judge's son.
Yeah, and they're in Tallahassee, and he was getting a PhD at some theological school in Miami, and he needed a committee, and she and I were on his committee with the rector of the Episcopal Church that was on 35th, that round church that they tore down.
Isn't that a pity?
Oh, I don't understand why they tore that down.
I went to the meeting, I was invited to it, but no one was allowed to speak from the floor. The bishop didn't allow anyone to ask a question, talk.
There was a student of Frank Lloyd Wright designed that, they told me.
Robert Brown in Miami,
Uh-huh.
who's no longer alive.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I think it was a crime to tear
Yes,
it down.
it was.
What they put up is something you see on every street corner.
I know. So Judge Knott was a very, we knew Judge Knott.
Well, he judged.
We started that Judge Knott award. Was that when you were president of the Historical Society?
I've forgotten what year it was.
I think Jimmy Knott is the one who got Hal interested in the Historical Society.
Uh-huh.
He took Hal through what is now Mar-a-Lago, but when Marjorie Postma, that's her name, had given it to the country, to the
Yes.
U.S.
Yes.
And he took Jimmy through it. I took Hal through it from the top to the bottom, all over the whole thing.
Yes.
And the same with Whitehall.
He was a
Original
very,
Whitehall.
very colorful person, Judge Knott.
Yeah.
And his little books, his little histories of the
I have them
Round
inside.
Bay. Yeah, I have them too. The Historical Society has changed a whole lot now.
I guess it has, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think they wanted to make some money, and other non-profits were doing it, and so they wanted the Palm Beach people.
I know.
All power to them.
Yes, and the restoration of the building, the courthouse is a good thing.
It's an amazement. Have you been by there to see it?
Yes, I passed by it.
I
But
just can't get over it.
yesterday they uncovered the frieze.
Are they going to bring the columns back from
They
the
put 'em up.
cemetery? Well, they're four still down at the cemetery.
Are
We're
they
on
still
down
there?
on Parker Avenue, yeah.
Oh.
Maybe they're not going to do them.
I think that they were supposed to give them back, but there are columns up already. That was something that we tried to, we made the community aware of back then. But I think it's a shame, like a lot of, like Mrs. Lenahan. Remember Mrs. Lenahan?
The name I know, yeah.
She was the librarian in Lake Lantana, who started the program in the school system,
Right.
having the second or fourth grade study Florida history. Mrs. Lenahan wrote the first books. Now they just instituted it countywide, but a lot of those things were embryonic with the old boards that they used to have.
Have you been reading about the celebration of Jamestown?
Yes.
Well,
Fascinating.
I'm a Virginian from that part of Virginia.
Oh.
Every
You'll
Virginia...
be here all day hearing about a Virginia.
No, wait a minute. Every Virginia school child, I don't know how it is today, when I was growing up, you didn't start off with world history or anything. You started off with the history of Virginia. And you started off with Jamestown, and how Jamestown was founded before the Pilgrims ever set foot on Plymouth Rock. And then from that they went on into American history.
Well, it's true now. It's getting a more balanced perspective with the archaeological finds there.
Mm-hmm.
And now St. Augustine is up in an ire because they are
Well, they are
First.
the original one, yes.
About 50 or so years before 1607.
And they endured. Jamestown sort of founded. Then there was a colony at Raleigh, North Carolina. So Walter Raleigh started.
Yes.
And he went back to England to get supplies and money. They came back, the colony had vanished. And the only thing clue that they could find carved on a tree was the word Croatan, which was the name of the Indian tribe.
Uh-huh.
So whether the tribe killed them or took them and intermarried with them or what, we'll never know.
Well, we have this New Smyrna colony.
That's true.
With the Greek indentured and the
Menorcans. Yeah.
But anyway, let's go back to our little sanctuary.
We got far afield.
Well, it's all sort of important to.
Do you know the name of the architect of your parish hall?
You told me in Moe.
Ralph Moe.
Tell us a little bit about
Well,
Moe.
Ralph Moe lived and practiced in Lake Worth, and he was not in the best of health. He was younger than I am, but he was very sick and he died. But he did your parish hall.
Uh-huh. Did he do any other buildings in the city?
Oh, he did quite a few, but I just don't know which ones.
Okay, well,
He had an active practice.
He had an active practice in Lake Worth.
Yes.
Did you interact with any other of the parishioners besides Mr. Kuchalakos and?
Yes, William Johnson.
Oh, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah. Very nice gentleman.
Did you know Roy Garnett, the banker?
I knew him. I didn't know he was a parishioner.
No, he wasn't a parishioner, but he told me that he was one of the very first bankers in the community.
Well, he was with First National of Palm Beach.
And that they gave them a line of credit that was helpful to the building of the church. There was another very colorful old character. Do you remember Mr. Garnett?
I'll tell you, when they asked you to do all the balcony railings of that apartment in South Palm Beach, Roy Garnett spearheaded that. I don't think he heard me. He's very hard of hearing.
Which apartment was that?
It's north of the Lake Worth Bridge, one of those condos.
Oh, And how did Mr. Johnson, what was his role in this building?
Well, I think he was on the building committee too.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and there was another one. He had an apartment on Peruvian Avenue.
Mr.
And Anastasius? Anton?
Mr. Ross?
No,
No, Mr.
in the Lake Block, in the Ocean Block.
Was that Anna Karayanakis? Mr. Karayanakis?
No. Anton or Anastasius?
Okay, Anton, there might be an Anton, I don't know.
I'll tell you, at the dedication service, we weren't there.
You were there?
No, we weren't. But I understand that all the credits were given out, and this gentleman couldn't stand it anymore. He said, and the architect was Harold Obst. And we heard feedback on that.
Oh, that was in 1956, I guess, huh?
Well, yes, way back when it was dedicated. We've been to services there, but we weren't at that particular mass.
Do you have any written things about the church when it was your work with it or anything?
I don't remember any except the letter that I wrote you.
Okay, I have that letter. I was trying to find it. I just saw a
It's in here.
You have a copy of it? I have it home.
I have a copy somewhere. In this day and age of computers, it would be in the computer. But do you know what happened? Yesterday I tried to fire it up and get it going. Nothing happened. I was on the phone for an hour and a half with a technician in the Philippines working for Dell.
Yes.
And I need a new motherboard. Well, the computer's 5 years old, and before I do that, I'm going to get a new one. So at the moment I have no computer.
I see.
I call my son and he reads my email for me. This is a house we did on Flagler, North Flagler.
What a lovely house.
So a doctor and his wife, this is another picture. It's been so altered, though, that you wouldn't know it today.
It sort of has like a little bit Judge Knott's,
It was done at the same time with that.
the way you captured the waterway. Judge Knott's house looked like that.
This is more contemporary. Judges are sort of
This is beautiful.
traditional. Doctor and his wife who lived here.
And where is this house?
On North Flagler, but it's been so changed you wouldn't know it if you drive by.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's very, very contemporary.
Yes, which Judges is more traditional,
Yes.
which Evelyn wanted. They have a lot of antique furniture. And I guess Liza has it now, for her brother. And this is a Palm Beach house we did.
Oh, was that man you were thinking about named Bundas? Basil Bundas?
This is Mr. Chapin in Palm Beach.
No, the Greek man that you were talking about.
No, it was, see the Anton.
Okay. We'll look.
He had a 8-unit apartment
Oh.
in the ocean block of Peruvian. We were the architects for the apartment. And we got to know him.
Anna will know that. Anton. Ocean Block.
Anthon, maybe. There may be an H.
Anthon. Ocean Block of Peruvian.
Peruvian.
And it was an 8-room apartment?
8-unit.
8-unit apartment.
And you recognize this?
Oh, that's the Leaky Teepee, isn't it?
High Life Fronton.
Oh, okay. Did you do that?
We did that. Yeah.
You did? Oh. It's still very nice.
It is. It's
Yes.
a pity we don't have games there. And this is, we had a 900 family development. We didn't do many condos, but this was one of our favorites. In fact, we even bought an apartment there.
Where is that?
Lake Clark Gardens.
Oh. Does the Historical Society have some of your...
The only thing they have of ours is a Seminole Indian skirt.
Oh.
They never asked us for any work. You know, Don Edge, the architect, gave them a lot of drawings, which I think was so wonderful of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they never asked for anything else.
Well, they have a large collection of drawings of architects that I remember.
Well, I think that may have been Don Edge's collection.
Uh-huh.
He had them by all the different architects, too.
Oh.
He had some of John Volk. I don't think he had any of ours.
Don't you want to have them have
yes.
them?
I'd love to. I'd love to.
Should we speak with them about that?
Would you?
Yeah, I would be very happy to tell them. These things should go there, huh?
Well, after we die, I'm sure our kids aren't going to keep them.
Yes. And then is it?
You're looking for something written. Palm Beach Rehabilitation Center.
You did that one too?
Down in Lake Worth.
Yeah.
Down in Lake Worth.
That's a very nice building.
Here's the way it used to look. I think this is faded. They replaced the lamps. Is that a digital camera?
It is. Is that a movie camera, Father?
Supposedly, it's taking a record, so we can have it for our archive.
Have to be careful.
You need to take Mr. Obst too.
I swung
you
it
do.
over there.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
You have to switch it. We need equal time here.
I guess I'm a southerner now with all this discussion of the southern life.
But you're not a
But
southerner.
I
No,
attended
he's not.
Stuyvesant High School,
Oh, and
went to Columbia College, Columbia Architectural School. All of these are in New York.
you're a New Yorker.
So I'm still partially New Yorker in addition to being a southerner. Yeah.
But you're really a Palm Beacher here all these years.
Well, we've lived here so long, since 1946.
Yeah.
No, I get
That's
lots of
amazing.
mail from Stuyvesant and Columbia. You know, send money, send money.
Still a good school, Stuyvesant. Still an excellent school.
We
Well,
drove by the
Columbia Architectural School is one of
Right.
the best in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Yeah,
still
good
get mail
old
from them.
Avery Hall.
Where did you go to school?
Columbia, that's where we met.
Oh, you were both Columbia
I went to
graduates.
Barnard undergraduate and Columbia graduate.
Oh my gosh, Barnard is a very good school.
Oh, well, the best.
No, the
Really?
the chapel is right alongside of Avery, and when we were married, the gang upstairs looked down at Emily and Harold Obst, the newlyweds. You know,
Was that the Rockefeller Chapel?
Oh no, St. Paul's at
St.
Columbia.
Paul, yeah.
Oh.
No, we were married in 1943, if you can do some arithmetic.
Uh-huh.
You've heard of the term Google.
Yes.
Well, we had a professor of mathematics at Barnard, Professor Kasner, and he loved to make difficult things simple. He had a little nephew, so he was trying to tell his nephew, he asked his nephew, how much is 10 to the 100th power? And the little boy thought a minute and he said, a Google. And that's how it
That's
got its
that.
name. Then he went on to say, little boy, what's 10 to the 1000th power? The little boy says, it's a Googleplex. And that little boy, I saw a picture of him online. He's now middle-aged, bald-headed.
Wow. So you're very computer. You've kept up with.
Couldn't live without it. We bought our first office computer in the mid-'80s.
Oh.
Why do I think about horses?
I don't know. But anyway, we were one of the few architectural firms that did computer drafting. And we used to give demonstrations, our colleagues and the school board and people, come on in, we'll drop everything we had that we were working on and give them a demonstration.
Now, where was your office in Lake?
No, we moved out of Palm Beach.
And you went to Congress, you
Yeah,
said?
we moved from 289 Hibiscus to Royal Palm Way.
Oh.
And we were there, I think, for 20 years. Then we built this, designed this office complex for a client on Congress Avenue, and we moved out there.
What was the address?
2326 South Congress.
23,
It's called Congress Park
2326 South Congress.
in Congress Park.
How about any other stories about your work with St. Catherine?
My mind's a blank. Well, I was a little surprised to see arches without columns.
Yes.
I said, don't tell anybody we did this building.
Oh, it's the most fascinating. There are hundreds of people come in to the church during the festivals that are not Greek people. They just come to, and that's the most mind-boggling thing. They're just awed by that the building has no columns.
Well, I think
We
that
hear
was
it
George.
over and over.
I don't
Don't you
take
hear
credit
that,
for
Father?
that.
Yes,
Well, I don't take credit for that. George Brockway does.
Okay.
he did that when he
He did
designed
that.
the dome.
That was his way of solving the dome, how to rest the dome. I mean,
Ah.
just a plain beam, probably steel beam would have held. But I think somebody on the building committee may have said, well, we'd like some arches.
You know that 25 years approximately after the church was built, they had to do a refit on the dome.
I think you called us on that. I heard that.
And Father has some thoughts on if they're going to be making the bridge and pounding, it could just.
Our concern is the vibrations. They tore up the 100 block of Southern about 6 years ago to put new drainage in. And when they were reinstalling the asphalt, I was in the cultural center building, and it felt like an earthquake.
Well, this just is just the drill upstairs.
And this is nothing compared to that. The building actually shook.
Why couldn't they build, it's a causeway. It starts as a causeway and goes out. And just build up that causeway. They've got to start making the rise on the bridge and start from Flagler and go out instead of bringing it way back to Washington or whatever.
What they tell us is how far out it goes will depend on the ultimate design, what the vertical clearance will be up from the water to the opening span.
That's always controversial because of this bridge.
Right, and they also told us that at this bridge here, the the concern for vibrations was there also. So they drilled, put in a corrugated casing, and then filled the columns, constructing them on the spot.
I remember seeing them. Well, they didn't want any rise. I mean, the height is very controversial here, and prominent citizens got together. Of course, there were a lot that live around that area, and they should have complained to the state road department. I think it has control.
I believe they told us that the rise on this bridge is 20 feet.
They wanted it higher. Now I think it's maybe 4 or 5 feet higher than the old bridge.
Now, do you know Mrs. Dickinson, Catherine Dickinson?
Catherine?
Yeah. She was on our board, Mr. Obst.
No, I didn't know that Dickinson.
Her husband is an attorney, and she was on the National Historical Trust. We wrote to her to see to get direction, and she insists that we should just insist that they repair the bridge.
Well, I don't think. Well, they have that much traffic. They want to rebuild it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they anticipate traffic. At rush hour, there's a little high up at some.
But it's not during season.
At 4:30 in the afternoon, there may be a little high up, but I mean, it's worth waiting if you're waiting for it. So what if they complain? Donald Trump probably complains.
Well, I'm sure that he doesn't want the bridge bigger.
You ought to get him active.
Mm-hmm. That's very important, I think. I did email. Did I send you a copy of the email I sent to Kenny?
I believe so.
We need to speak to him because he hasn't responded. But anyway, I don't know of anything else. Father, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
I think this is very, very wonderful.
once you executed the once you designed the building and they executed the design, were you involved as the architect overseeing at all the construction phase?
Either they can employ an architect to do the contract administration, or in the case of small projects, very often we don't. This is Joseph Morse Geriatric Center.
Oh yes,
We
you
did
designed that too?
We did the first building there.
Oh.
Most important thing is 3 children. Of course, our daughter is long since died, but we still have 2 sons. One in New York and one in Chicago.
Anthony and James.
Anthony and James.
Tony and Jim.
Which one is in New York?
Tony, Anthony. He lives in New Jersey and his office is in New York.
Is he an architect too?
No, he's a lawyer.
Oh,
Only he's not practicing law.
very good. So do you ever get up to the north?
We used to when we were there Thanksgiving
This year?
this year,
Oh, good for you.
in 2006. But it's very difficult for us to travel with all this taking off your shoes, and they patted me down. I have a medical bracelet, and she said, take it off. And I said, I'm not supposed to take it off. I can't get it off my hand. So she says, I'm going to pat you down. Come on in the booth. It was a big, husky, fat woman.
She looks like a spy, doesn't she?
I wasn't about to go in the booth with her. I said, no, you'll do it right over here. So that took 5 minutes, and the shoes were off, and it's just such a hassle.
Yes, I know. It is.
Well, they have a job to do, so, you know.
Yes, I know.
Our safety.
Mm-hmm. So you stopped your subscription at the Kravis?
We stopped the last one that just recently, of course, the Philharmonic, as you knew,
Yes,
faded.
yeah.
We still went to the opera. We stopped that this year, and we stopped music at 2. We were music at 8, then we became music at 2, and we stopped that. It's difficult to get there. I mean, you can always get a taxi, except except you can't always get a taxi.
Mhm.
The last music or two we went was on at the Super Bowl.
Oh.
And Yellow Cab couldn't send a cab for a half hour. Lighthouse Cab didn't have a cab. They sent them all down to Miami to Super Bowl. So it's just such a hassle.
Mhm.
You know, our car was demolished in Hurricane Wilma. And these two sons of ours made such a fuss about my continuing to drive. We just never got another one. Hal hasn't driven for several years now, but I was still driving.
Mhm. Well, that will be nice if Lolly the trolley comes by here.
Be great.
Yes.
We've been using what do they call it? Palm Train Connection.
Uh-huh.
And there's a very nice neighbor in the building. He's a retired Roman Catholic priest. And he says, anytime you want to go anywhere, please just call me. So when he goes to Publix, we would go along. Now we have a driver, but this was back then. He took us to any doctor's appointment. Now Hal has a nurse's aide and she drives us.
Oh.
And I miss driving. It really changes your whole lifestyle.
Yes, my mother just had to stop, and it was a major adjustment.
I don't think that we've ever completely adjusted.
No, I don't think she has either, but it seems better not to be driving at 90. I don't know. It's very hard to tell. I have a friend, when my mother was in an accident, but she didn't get hurt, and then the car was totaled. And I was speaking with some people about how difficult it is to have a parent not to drive, to tell them they shouldn't drive. And I had a friend who faced a similar condition, and he handled it very, very well. His mother lived in Michigan, and she was 89 years old. And she had gone to the hairdresser in Michigan somewhere outside of Detroit. And the hairdresser thought that she should follow his mother home. She just had an instinct that she'd follow her home. So she followed her home, and she saw that his mother was wobbly in the car. And she called his cousin who lived there. And it was getting to be winter, so the cousin politely called his aunt and said that it's becoming winter. So I waited till she came back, and I took her keys again. Oh well.
I have told our sons, the woman in the building who is exactly my age, still driving, and she was telling me how she meant to put her foot on the brake and she put it on the accelerator.
That's what my mother did.
Yeah. So I didn't tell him.
Uh-huh. Well, anyway, it was very delightful to be here, and we'll stay in touch.
Sure, let's do that. Even though we don't have a concert to go to.
Yes, right.
We're going to buy individual tickets. Yeah.
Yes, you might want to go.
You know Joe Nassa. He's a member of your congregation.
NASA and
The dentist.
The dentist.
Yeah.
Yes, I know him. He moved down here on Flagler somewhere.
Yeah, he's right 4 blocks north. So we were looking for a dentist we could walk to.
Oh.
But every time we'd go, he'd say, now if you'll wait till lunchtime, I'll drive you home. Which I thought was very nice of him.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
One day it was pouring rain. He said, wait, and I will drive you home.
Oh, very good. And dental care for people is very important.
We have all our teeth.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
This is what our daughter used to do. She'd record interviews. She had us go and stand in front of all the homes that we lived in here.
Oh, so you have all that done?
I don't know where it is. She died. It's somewhere.
When did she die?
2001.
Oh.
2002, I'm sorry. And it's probably in her files and things.
But it's important to have them come to the Historical Society meetings.
Well, there are many times I've wanted to write letters about buildings here that I know aren't going to be here much longer. And One thing I wanted to describe, the corner of Olive and Detura, what used to be there when we first came here.
What was there?
Well, the Harvey building is still there.
Yeah.
But diagonally across, the Union Congregational Church was.
Oh, yes.
Then they tore it down and put Jefferson stores there.
Uh-huh.
And now whatever's there is there. And so, I mean, in many places, there's a boutique where J.C. Penney used to be, and there's a retail store. They had first Two Sisters, and then before that, Walgreens was there with a soda fountain. You don't see soda fountains anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many things I feel where if somebody doesn't get them down on paper, they'll be lost forever.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of it has been done, I hope so.
That Union Congregationalist Church then moved over near Georgia,
Yeah, they were in Georgia.
and now they moved west.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, it's a nice new sanctuary.
I
There
didn't
was
know that.
Mr. and Mrs. Glenn used to go there. He was at the community college, and she was very involved in that church. They had a very good pastor for many years, and he just retired. A very interesting faith, the Congregationalists. So much a part of the history of the country.
My son and daughter belonged to a church up north that was run by the Congregational Church and the Northern Baptists.
Oh.
They combined. This is the same group that is in charge of Riverside Church in New York City that the Rockefellers did.
Yes.
It's the same exactly. Well, I don't know, something happened. They got a new pastor and they moved. And I used to go there with them when I was out, even though we're Episcopalian.
And that's where they go?
Yes.
You still go to Holy Spirit?
Well, yes, I have designed Holy Spirit.
Yes.
And we're right down the street from Holy Trinity.
Oh, so you go there.
Well, that was a church when we first came down. There wasn't any Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Holy Trinity was here. We both joined Holy Trinity. Our children were confirmed there. One was baptized there at Holy Trinity.
Oh.
So it was like coming home.
Yes.
It's very difficult for me to get there, though, because of the hours.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yes.
I go to with Father Andrew. There's this Roman Catholic priest in the building that I sit to the grocery store. He celebrates Mass every Sunday afternoon in Chicago. And he invited us to come. He said, I know you're Episcopalian, but do come. And we go there, and as he jokingly says, I celebrate Episcopal Mass, meaning that he gives us wine as well as bread.
I see.
We go there. It's a very beautiful. The simplicity is the beauty.
Yeah. Well, that's very
The
interesting.
man upstairs is very good to the Obst. Thank the Lord.